What's up, everyone? Small Bit of News back again. Same as last week, we're going to be going over just a few news stories. Just quick things I found online, thought were interesting, want to share, out with the world, talk them over. So we're going to start with an article from PC Games N. So Steam client is actually got an update this week to fix compatibility issues with Windows XP, which I think is really weird because Windows 7 is actually being phased out, and to go two generations back, Vista and then XP, and still be updating client issues and compatibility issues. It's just weird, on Steam's part. It's good to put in the work, but who's enjoying these older games on XP? Because the people who still use Windows XP, they don't have the drivers, for their modern video cards. They're not playing modern games. Maybe for those early 2000 gamers, like who still, they love their StarCraft, maybe, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. There's not actually much to the article here, though. Just for people, the author words it, that as someone who enjoys messing with old computers, I can confirm that Steam installs and updates the current versions, like the same versions you would get on Windows 10, just fine on Windows XP, even if you won't be running anything more recent than Half-Life 2. Yeah, you do what you do. Good on Steam's part, I guess. That was from PC Games, and I'll put a link in the description. So this is big news. As they've been teasing us with 5G speeds for mobile data, and Intel is going to be launching 5G capable cellular connected laptops next year, by the end of 2019. So about a year and a half. So right now, this is from laptopmagazine.com. The chipmaker is collaborating with Dell, HP, Lenovo, and Microsoft for new devices. This comes on the heels of Qualcomm making announcements about 5G, though mostly about phones, but to get 5G modems in devices in the next year. Both Qualcomm and Intel are on the cusp of introducing laptops with eSIMs to push mobile connectivity ahead of Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Qualcomm announced carrier and retail partners for its always connected PCs. Now, I love this idea because if the more mobile speed you get, the closer we get to you could cut your internet service provider, your home internet service provider, out of the picture, which I would love to see those goes away because, really, with the amount of data you're using on your phone or tablet, you're really paying two internet bills: your phone bill, which includes data, and your home, Wi-Fi or Ethernet, bill. Now, if they could get 5G speeds, over the net, then you could just use your phone as a hotspot, which I mean you already can with 4G LTE, but the speeds aren't, they're nowhere close to blistering fast. 5G is promising, I think they've said like double the bandwidth. Don't quote me on that. Double the bandwidth of 4G LTE. So really, you're looking at a potential to pay your phone company for, for all your internet, home and on the go. I'm going to be linking that in the description. There's actually not much to go on here, just that Intel is working with Dell, HP, and Lenovo to bring 5G to laptops in 2019. So, AMD is launching new EPYC 3000 series embedded processors with their Ryzen V1000 APUs that are going to have better performance per dollar to Intel Xeon D. They've got charts here. This is from WCCFTtech.com, and from what they're showing is the new embedded chips are blowing the Xenons out of the water. Like it's night and day. I'm definitely gonna be linking this. You guys should all go and read this because I think AMD could really take over the server industry or the rendering industry with people who need high thread count, high efficiency CPUs. And these V1000 chips they're launching with embedded APUs are offering decent compute performance coupled with the top-of-the-line integrated video graphics. So you're really getting the best of both worlds. Someone who wants to throw together a server, an APU would be perfect because you don't need that dedicated GPU, you don't need the discrete video card, and you're also getting all the power. What looks like the top of the line one, the 3451 is going to be coming in with 2.15 gigahertz base clock, an all-core turbo of 2.45 gigahertz, and 3 gigahertz single-core turbo, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're dealing with a lot of cores and threads, you're looking at 16 cores and 32 threads. 3 gigahertz is more than enough for 32 threads, 16 cores. The L3 cache, you're looking at 32 megabytes. That's with only a TDP of 100 watts, which is, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you could run that on a theoretically with a 650 or 500 watt power supply. You could get this, embedded server CPU performance and still have support for DDR4 up to 266.6 megahertz. I think it's kind of interesting. And these embedded embedded APUs with decent Vega graphics. So there's gonna be 3 series. We have looks like the Ryzen 10,000 series, EPYC 3000 series, and they both are coming with the Vega Salute graphics on board. The Ryzen V1000 isn't really meant for servers though, but the EPYC is. The Ryzen looks like it's meant for edge applications such as NUCs and very small form factor PCs, so maybe like HT your mini ITX builds. I think with these Ryzen APUs, they're a big deal. With the Vega graphics on board, obviously it's not going to compare to Vega 56, but I don't think we're many generations off from APU performance is going to be on par with GPU performance. Now, with these APUs, the ones that are out right now, the Ryzen 2400G and the 2600G, it's beating 1030s, like GTX 1030s, which has a gig of dedicated VRAM, which, I mean, you can dedicate 2 gigs of your DDR4 to your APU, but you're still going to be bottlenecked by those DDR4 speeds. But I think next year or the year after, when DDR5 hits mainstream, and you get APUs with support for DDR5, it's going to be very hard to argue that you need a graphics card. If you can get enough cores on board with an APU, and you get fast clocked DDR5, it's going to be on par with a 1050 or maybe even a 1050 Ti. And you can't quote me on that because I think it's coming. So yeah, I'll be linking to that, wccftech.com, it'll be in the description. Now Mashdrop, as you may have heard of these guys, they order in bulk so they can sell at a cheaper price to the consumers. So it's not like Amazon where you order and you get it, but so they are saying that Nvidia predicts graphics cards prices are going to continue to go up all the way to Q3 of this year, which for us gamers hoping they were going to come down, I'm sorry, the prices are going to be on the up and up and up and up for a long time. And the problem is the smartphones that are all using DDR4 and DDR4L, they're driving regular RAM prices up too, so it's really a bad time to even build a PC. I think you'd be better off getting a used PC and then upgrading it as you go, because unless you're willing to spend $600 more than you would have spent 2 years ago on the same GPU. It sucks. It's always bad news when we hear that there's no breakthrough on the crypto market, graphics card crash. I'm waiting for the day that Bitcoin crashes and all these guys lose their shirts. It's going to be very ironic after they cost us, so much pain with these damn graphics cards. So, Intel is apparently, this is allegedly, is a rumor, they might be expanding into game consoles. And this is from seekingalpha.com. Intel might expand its gaming focus beyond the PC market. NPD Group's most recent report said U.S. gamers bought more than 1 million units of video game consoles in January 2018. Last month's gaming hardware sales in the U.S. was $278 million, up 119%. Supplying processors for gaming consoles is an ideal expansion move for Intel, because as you know right now, AMD is providing CPUs or APUs for both PS4 and Xbox One. Now, if Intel can make a push into that, they're going to get a slice of that pie, So maybe the next console war could be not only Xbox versus PS, whatever, it's going to be Intel versus AMD under the surface, which is going to be great for It'd be a good reason, a good pull for PC fans who already have Intel, computers to say, I want to back my company, I want to back, my guys, and they can go and move in and buy the Intel console or whatever it is that Intel chooses to back. I'm really looking forward to that, though. I can't wait for next gen personally. So, this article is from Extreme Tech. They're comparing the AMD Ryzen 5 2400G, which is one of the new APUs, against the onboard GPUs in the Intel. And I mean, obviously, the onboard graphics of the Ryzen chips are blowing the Intels out of the water. That's why Intel is working towards Vega onboard graphics for their CPUs and laptops, because they know that AMD has really struck gold with these APUs. It's similar to what we saw with like the A10 APUs like a couple years ago, with performance that will get you in the door for when you need to build a computer in the future. The big thing is, what I was worried about was the CPU performance of these, APUs, because it's not always the greatest, because a lot of the focus is on, the graphics card, or the onboard graphics. But they ran Luxmark CPU bench, and the R5 2400G is only about 70 points below an i5 8400 in terms of performance GPU or CPU wise, sorry. So I mean that's nice. And then the GPU is blowing the Intel out of the water by over 500 points. So these Ryzen chips, they're godsend for gamers. I mean, $100 for a CPU that beats an i5 8400. That's $200-300 easily. You can beat that with your $99 Ryzen APU. And slap a discrete GPU in there, and I mean, it's a great bargain. It's a great bargain system. Price performance is through the roof, as always what we see with AMD. But that's gonna be my last story for this week. I'll be putting the links in the description, and I will be back next Friday night for next week's stories. See you later. This has been a small bite of news.